Bad Larry.
What makes a real hero? It's getting back up when knocked down, feeling like there is no winning, but fighting back anyway. That is Spider-Man. What's up, everyone? I'm your host, Bad Larry. Let's check out The Amazing Spider-Man number 19, released December 1964. The villains in this issue is the trio called the Enforcers. You got Fancy Dan, who's really fast and good at martial arts, and then the cowboy, Montana, who is good with that rope, and the heavy of the group called Ox, who's big and dumb and strong, along with the feature from the Sandman and Human Torch. The fake news is still hating on Spider-Man, saying he's all washed up because he's been absent, as Peter Parker needed to stay home caring for old Bones Aunt May during her recovery. So the criminals got their criminality on, like these fools who just robbed a bank. I still laugh at the spider light. It's super 60s, right? The criminals believe the fake news. See, either side of the law, you can't trust the media. Spider-Man is extra bouncy as he's been cooped up, so he easily and quickly dispatches, what is it, 5 robbers? Amazing. I like this visual of Spider-Man running on the walls, knocking them down like bowling pins. And then he has the audacity to call a grown man a cutie? Disrespectful. When the cops come to do the cleanup, Spider-Man talks that shit, making sure to get his name right in the papers. Yeah, talk that mess. Triple J is smiling now. Just wait till he learns his favorite person in the world, Spider-Man, is back in action. Let's see how long that smile lasts. Yeah, that's what I thought. As soon as Triple J gets caught up to speed, that smile is gone, and he takes off running to go cry in the car. Jameson is crazy. He's such a hater. If Spider-Man cured cancer, he would still find a way to gaslight him and try to keep his hate alive. The panels introducing Human Torch to the story are tough to digest. The middle panel art is not great, let's be honest. And how does this lasso not just burn up when wrapping up Johnny? What is that rope made of? I always give these older comics a lot of leeway, as they're made for kids. Kids won't try and overanalyze the physics here, but come on, guys. Stan, Steve, this is just too far. Just because he's tired wouldn't or shouldn't affect the temperature of the Human Torch's flames, right? I guess here it does. So, because Torch was flying a lot, he's too tuckered out to put up a real fight. He's like a little kitten right now. Fancy Dan and the Sandman put the torch out. Now, why are they even doing this? What is their motivation? The Sandman's out here smothering Johnny looking like Diddy. But factually, sand is a great fire retardant, so this is a clever matchup. My guy in the green cap works for the Sandman. He's telling Sandy that Spider-Man's back on the scene, boss. Sandman tells him to shush it. The Enforcers are only working with Sandman because they believe Spider-Man is out of the game. This is so interesting. They aren't afraid of a flying guy made of fire, but they're afraid of Spider-Man? Okay. But to be fair, they seem to prepare for the Human Torch very well. They got him locked up in a vacuum chamber of sorts. Very clever. Control the air supply, you control the Human Torch. Well, I guess the Enforcers got cocky, catching Torch so easily. Don't get cocky, boys. We look back at some of these older comics with such reverence, like every issue, every panel was a banger. Well, the truth is, sometimes they were mid, and that's okay. These are the foundational issues that made everything possible nowadays. I've been reading these older comics for ages and just now realized that Peter Parker's civilian suit is his color scheme. The blue suit, the red tie, the white shirt, the yellow vest matches the Spider-Man overall color palette, which is why Flashing often in green, because green is Spider-Man's enemy colors, so Peter Parker's enemy also wears green. Clever, Stan. Even Liz with the purple, it's showing that she's truly not on Peter Parker's side. Women, right? Boys never have and never will figure them out. I wish we still heard these kind of digs nowadays. Bookworm panty waist? That's tough. Peter Parker runs into Fancy Dan in his purple digs. keeping the bad guy color palette on point, and Spider-Man follows him to a hideout. At least Stan Lee got this right. It would be hard to miss a dude wearing bright red and blue just crawling up on the ceiling. It's time to fight for Spider Man. Ox does the fastball special move with Fancy Dan, knocking Spider Man right off the ceiling. So Colossus totally ripped off this move from Ox. Nothing is original. I'll give credit to Montana. He has to be something special with that rope to be able to lasso Spider Man. Ox throws a punch, but Spider Man rolls out of it. I like that the enforcers have lackeys as well, so Spider Man has multiple foes to fight. Otherwise, this would be too easy for him. Peter Parker is wound up so tight all the time, so Spider Man is able to let loose. He's fighting and singing at the same time. They think he's crazy. These fools are light work to Spider Man. The enforcers were able to easily take out the Human Torch. Well, they had that Sandman's help. But still, this makes me feel like in this world, Spider Man would be able to beat the Human Torch pretty easy. The cops show up and sends everyone a running. It's a good warm up round for Spider Man. Oh, Betty, what the hell? Ned Leeds also works for the same paper that Peter works for and looks just like Peter as well? Betty's trying to make Peter jealous, but Peter seems to just shrug it all off. He's got bigger things to worry about, as always. Well, Happy Jameson didn't last long. He's gone back to full Grumposaurus. If you look at things from J. Jonah Jameson's perspective, I get his frustration. Everyone is bothering him with these nonsense questions, wasting his time. They should know by now what he expects. Peter should know by now that if he doesn't have any pictures, don't try and talk to Jameson. I would think Peter would have figured that out by now, being such a big brain that he is. The Sandman and Enforcers think holding Human Torch's ransom for Spider Man is a good idea. They don't know these two aren't really pals like that. Johnny is just a monkey in a cage at this point. Not enough air to fully flame on, but just enough to keep him alive. I appreciate Stan Lee's self awareness, letting us know the action is about to begin. It's crazy to see Spider Man having these huge quads and how Peter is how is he hiding these tree trunk thighs in that suit? Flash is always calling him puny Parker, but dude is clearly not puny. Earlier, Spider Man called a dude a cutie. Now he's calling Jameson sweetie? Man, this guy's disrespectful. Spider Man knows the dude in the green hat has all the info, the super informant. He's gonna get this little birdie to sing, give up the enforcer's location. Again, you see an enemy in green and purple. This is just the same with DC as well. Batman's main villain, the Joker, is clad in green and purple. It's now just an iconic villain color combo. Spider Man knows he's being set up, but he's also cocky as hell, and he usually just walks into the trap regardless. The spider sense is maxing out. The enforcers have spotters everywhere. It will be Spider Man versus a small army in order to save the Human Torch. We have seen Spider-Man lurking around before, but when he was battling Craven the Hunter in the forest. But that was a long time ago. I like that Spider-Man is finally trying to be a bit strategic in his entry into the building, using his wall crawling and powers to evade the goons. Spider-Man found Torch but needs to get that cashola. So he sets up his camera to get them fight pics in order to sell to Jameson. Spider Man is ambushed by the Sandman, but he calls him a tricky old geezer, so I think he's still up 1 point at this point. Fancy Dan, who's in the purple suit, he's smaller than Ox, but it looks like he knows how to throw a better punch. Ox doesn't put any hips or rotation into the punch, very stiff fella. Regardless, they still got the drop on Spider Man. Like they do, Spider Man quickly lets these mere humans know they are punching above their weight class and they're about to learn a lesson about messing with a heavyweight like Spider Man. It's the speed, the strength, the spider sense, the whole combo. Spider Man is just too much. even with the Sandman's help. Listen, if I was Montana on the Enforcers, I would be pretty pissed too. This guy keeps roping Spider Man only for his teammates to let him out. You know how hard it would be to rope up Spider Man? I mean, Montana was doing his job. Spider Man is out there fighting on one foot, doing the limbo. How low can you go? This is amazing art given the time. I know Steve wasn't using any reference images or anything like that, just pure talent and imagination. I think it is fair to show the enemies complaining that they can't get a lick on Spider Man because the boy is just too fast, too agile, too much for these fools. I'm pretty sure they would be getting tuckered out by now, chasing old Webhead around like that. You know how humiliating this must be for Ox? Spider Man is so much smaller, and he catches the punch and then floors Ox? If Ox was the strongest of the group and Spider Man floors him so easily, well, this would be the clue for everyone to just run. I like this too, Spider Man's internal monologue. Even with his powers, he's still getting tired of fighting. Unlike today, where the heroes seem to have unlimited stamina, Spider Man knows he needs to find an edge in the fight before he gets too tired. Tag team's back again. Spider Man crashed into the glass, letting the human torch out. Now these fools are really cooked. The spray foam trick is only going to work once, buddy. Spider-Man saves Torch with a helping hand of webbing. Torch is giving the goons a Johnny Cash treatment, the Ring of Fire. Montana is the only one who gets an A for effort. He seems to rope anyone he wants, but that's it. His team lets him down over and over. Ox is as smart as his name. He keeps trying the same game with Spider Man and keeps getting knocked out. Just give it up, buddy. The Sandman turns tail and starts running. Why are you running? Well, because fire turns sand into glass. Spider Man should know that, and he should have let Torch at him. Sometimes people work well as a team, but Spider Man is best solo. Spider Man is just too unique. He just doesn't work well on a team. A little art mistake on this frame. Looks like Ditko forgot to draw the 4 on Johnny's costume. The delay was enough to allow the Sandman to make his getaway. I wonder how these two lame brain cops would take down the Sandman, but in this universe, even the Sandman has limited stamina. I like it. In the Spider Man movie, Sandman seemed to be overpowered, but here, the man can't keep shifting around due to exhaustion. It's a fun nerf for the characters. Sandman punked out, saying he would rather go to jail than fight Torch and Spider Man again. That's tough. Jameson goes through the entire emotional spectrum here. Sad, then he's pissed because Spider-Man is back popular again, then he's pumped because Peter Parker came through with those sensational pictures. It always comes down to the money, people. Peter gets that money for his pictures and gets back in the game with Betty. It's all coming back around for both Spider-Man and Peter Parker. See how these women be doing? She is only going out with Ned to make Peter jealous. Man, can't figure these women out, I tell you. Everyone is confused about everything. The public doesn't know why Jameson is against and then for Spider Man. Johnny never figured out why Spider Man seemed to turn temporary coward and run. Spider Man befuddles everyone. I love it. A shady figure in all purple. The color alone should let us know he's a villain at this point, right? He's keeping tabs on Peter Parker for some reason, and he's pretty good at it too, spying on Peter without creating any suspicion. Old mate in purple calls his boss in the green. Again, the green lets you know he's a baddie, and the boss seems to suspect there's something more going on with Peter Parker than meets the eye. This is a great cliffhanger. I don't know who this guy in green is either. I haven't read ahead, so stay tuned for the next issue to find out who is spying on our favorite teenage wall crawler. Hit the like button for play, subscribe. I'll see you real soon. Peace.